Hello Commanders, Commander Plater here, and today we are taking an early access look at Starpoint Gemini 3. So a small thank you to Little Green Men Games for sending a key over to review. Please note this is not a paid review or feature spot, and all of my opinions do remain my own. Starpoint Gemini 3 hit early access on the 5th of September, and unlike most early access games, this is very early indeed and far from complete. Please make sure you do keep that in mind as we go through gameplay footage and talk about the features that are currently implemented. So, what is Starpoint Gemini 3? Well, it's selling itself as having a huge, immersive, space-spanning 3 different planetary systems of former Imperial colonies, a large variety of characters with unique personalities, different questlines and factions, a unique adrenaline-packed combat system that enables mid-combat mounted weapon switching, allowing you to change weapon and damage types during combat without the need to dock for refitting, new out-of-ship drone control and exploration of space structures, a modular ship upgrading system, a complete set of RPG skills to boost the player's capabilities over the course of the game, detailed visitable interiors on different planets, a universe populated with unique areas, objects, and characters that allow players to engage in many different activities while free roaming between missions. The storyline itself is written by Darko Makan, an official writer for numerous Star Wars and Marvel comics. That all sounds absolutely amazing, but from my time playing the game, I'm going to have to give my first impressions, and unfortunately I'm going to have to start with a negative before I carry on with a positive. Little Green Men Gaming is currently asking players for their feedback as to what needs to be developed. They are aware it is nowhere near a finished product, and as mentioned earlier, they expect it to be in early access for at least a year, so hopefully all of this should be rectified by the time it launches. The game is currently lacking a large portion of the story mode, close to pretty much all of it, and the animations look very basic in cutscenes, and I do mean very basic. Bad, one might say. What is there of the story mode has some very hammy acting with a very tongue-in-cheek approach. Old pyjamas, fishes, and bananas all over the place, which is apparently pirate talk for money. I never heard this before, but hey, it must be. The protagonist, Captain Jonathan Bold, is quite the unlikable character, with an IQ of around 75 and a taste for getting drunk and bedding females. Telling a story is great, but potentially alienating audience members is never good. The combat itself can be a little bit spongy at times, and fighting multiple enemies can be an absolute pain because of the way the controls work. The missiles seem to sometimes lock on, and other times not at all. The direct fire gameplay is fine, but overall it very much feels like a mobile game. See my video for Manticore Galaxy on Fire to know what I'm talking about. You do have the ability to customise your ship, but there is currently only a few different options to pick from, and the changes are not just cosmetic. They do have an effect on how the ship performs, and that ranges from improving shields, upping your speed, your turning rate, and of course, different weapons. So, I've always said I don't really like putting games on my channel that I don't enjoy. So, why am I talking about Starpoint Gemini 3? Especially considering I've basically just trashed it for the last 3 minutes. Well, it's because it has potential. It has space combat, RPG elements, planets you can land on, radial type missions, a sandbox mode, great cinematic views, and most importantly, the developers are actively seeking feedback from players. Being early access as it is, and with the plan for a longer early access period than most games, gives players a huge amount of input that they can flex. Starpoint Gemini 3 is rough, and there are no two ways about it, but it does have some charm. Enough to make me want to keep my eyes on it, and having played Starpoint Gemini Warlords, you know the studio you're dealing with, and their experience in making games, there is an element of trust. Little Green Men Gaming is being open about their roadmap for the game, with features being worked on such as the storyline, ship modifications, skill trees, crafting mechanics, world bosses, and capital ship mechanics, to name but a few. So to me, that shows some dedication to making the game more enjoyable and a great experience, but really has a way to go. So I'm going to call this one to watch. I'll be providing updates as patches come along. So thank you for watching. Please make sure that you like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you get an alert every time I put a new video out. Also, whilst you're there, if you are looking to support the channel, please check out the links in the video description, as there are a couple of different ways to do so. But once again, thank you for watching. Commander Placer, out.